Good evening, my friends. We're going to be switching over to live camera very, very shortly. Uh, cool little intro video if you guys like one of these. Jackery Power Stations. James here, of course, from the Jackery channel tonight. I want to welcome everybody here tonight for our nightly stream. We got some very cool products at a very cool price points for a lot of you. Now, we're going to be showing you guys products that you may not have seen before, or products you may have seen before. We're going to show you guys a little bit of something for everybody. And what do I mean by that? Well, we got ranges from small power stations to large power stations, ranging from just intro stations all the way up to the big bad boy stations. I do want to welcome everybody here to this Monday night stream. I know it is one of those beautiful weekly days. It's been a great few days off for me. And good evening, Phil. What's up? What's up, buddy? What's up, my Phil? Guys, if you don't know, smash that follow button, give a like, and all that other stuff. It doesn't cost you nothing to give us a follow. We do love doing these streams, and we'd hope to have a lot of you here watching with us and chatting. If you guys have questions, please ask, and we will attempt to answer those questions for you as we can. Now, with that, of course, we're going to start this show off with a beautiful little power station. This is the Jackery Explorer 100 Plus. Now, the 100 Plus is a beautiful little power station that's going to knock your socks off. What do I mean by that is, well, hey, it doesn't weigh a lot, and it packs quite a punch. Now, this little power station is palm-sized. That's right, palm-sized. Now, this little power station actually has two USB-C ports, one USB-A port. Also comes with this beautiful USB-C to USB-C cable that's going to allow 100 watts of power to pass through it. It's also going to come with this adapter. This is a USB-C to DC plug adapter that is going to allow you to plug in a solar panel into this. That's right, you can charge this device off of a solar panel. Now, you do have two USB-C ports at 100 watts max charging capability. Those are in and out ports. You also have that USB-A port at 18 watts max charging capability. That means you can charge your Samsung phones all the way up to your large MacBook Airs or even your Nintendo Switches. Now, this is actually 31,000 milliamps of power, which is approximately 99 watt hours of power or 128 watts inside this device. Now, with this, there's actually a $20 clippable coupon for this device. So if you guys need, clip that coupon and save yourselves a couple bucks. Now, with this, of course, charging time is going to be under 2 hours. You're up, you're charged, and running. That's actually really beautifully well done. Now, run times, guys, you could charge your phones, you could charge your laptops, you could charge your iPads, or even run your Nintendo Switches off of this. Now, if you guys have been around here before, I've actually talked about this. I've ran my Nintendo Switch. I've ran a portable monitor off of this station together for over 3 hours of runtime together. And that's actually really cool. Now, this little thing right here actually has a display. The display is going to show you guys the charge rate. You guys can see it's down to 70%. And that's because I was actually using this to charge stuff. Now, if you guys do know, I do a lot of videos and a lot of recording. Keeping batteries charged is very fundamentally needed. Now, of course, this is 3 different batteries for, of course, my ZV-1 camera, and that's what I use to charge off of this device. So I was actually charging these batteries the other day, and I actually charged more than just these 3. I got approximately 6 of these batteries charged and up and ready for recording because I do go through a lot of batteries, and, you know, sometimes it's just not that fun to have to recharge stuff when it dies during mid-recording. So having it charged using a Jackery power station is a great idea. I really like that, guys. This is a cool little idea to be able to use this for my camera gear. And that's what I've actually been using it for. This thing's been coming in quite handy to charge them batteries on hand and all of that. Great options. It has a whole bunch of protections built in, guys, so you don't have to worry about overcharge protections and stuff. It's going to, of course, adapt to the amount of power that your device needs. And that's actually a really great idea. The even better part is since you can use a solar panel like the Solar Saga 100 panel or even their 40-watt panel on this, you can charge it on a solar panel and not have to plug it into a wall. That means if you guys are in the field and needing more charge rate or charging more batteries or your phones or other devices, this can do that. This is actually portable. It will fit in your backpack. It'll fit in, of course, some of your purses or Phil's pocket. Phil likes to wear those Jinko jeans, you know. He likes to wear those big old baggy jeans on his days off. So he can just put that in his pocket and not have to worry about it. No, I'm just messing with Phil, guys. This is a really cool piece. I love the 100 Plus. If you guys are needing a little portable power station, this is a great one. Like I said, it's $20 off, so it's about $129 tonight. That's a good price for a little power station. That's going to pack quite a wallop. Any questions about that power station, please ask. Now, we're also going to move over to another Jackery power station, and this is going to be, of course, the 240. Now, the 240 is a really, really cool one. I think it's like I think it's like $178 tonight, I think. Can't see the actual price tonight for me. I'm having problems with my actual app showing me prices. But right here, 240, guys. The 240 is actually 240 watt hours of power, still in a portable design. Now, this one is a fixed handle. It does have that fixed handle. It has that beautiful Jackery logo right there. Also has cooling technologies on the side for you. It does come with multiple ports. You have an AC port on this, so that means you can plug in your house products like your lamps, your fans, and other devices with this. 200 watts of pure sine wave power at 110 volts. That means you can plug in pretty much any house plug into this and not have to worry about it. You do have two USB-A ports, guys, 5 volt, 2.4 amps right there. And you also have a DC input. Now, that DC input is going to allow you to plug in a wall plug, or it's going to allow you to plug in your solar panel. Now, you also have a DC output port over here. Now, this is going to be like your cigarette lighter. If you guys have a cigarette lighter devices, like let's say what can I say? Air mattresses, maybe. Some air mattresses have that design, those older ones. Or maybe you guys have an air pump that needs it. That'll allow it. Now, these are all individually switched. Would it work for electric bike? Depending on what you mean, would it work for your electric bike? Would it charge your electric bike? Now, that would be depending on how much power you need to charge off of this. If your electric bike is a large power, this is only 240 watt hours of power. So I'm going to say you're not going to get a big charge off of this one. There's a math to it, so I don't know what your bike rate of power it needs for that to go with this one. But I'm going to say if you want to charge your electric bikes, probably a larger power station is going to do you better. Probably like the 1000s and up. Now, like I said, guys, this is multi-port design, multi-switch. Does have, of course, a display. So if I hit that little button, you guys will see the display come up, 95% charge. That's because, well, I just charged that. A small heater. Now, your small heaters are actually going to be determined of which size of small heater you want. Some of them actually pack about 400 to 500 watts or more. So no, this one is not going to do your small portable heaters. You're probably, again, you're going to want like the 500 or larger with the smaller heater. So with this, guys, it's going to take a few hours to charge this one, depending on how you charge it. If you use the wall plug, about 3.5 hours. If you use a car outlet, that's going to be like your cigarette lighter, 5 hours on a road trip. Solar Saga 100 watt panel, about 5 hours fully charged with that. Now, this one will allow you to run your Nintendo Switches or other devices for about 40 hours of runtime. Nintendo Switch, that's pretty important for the kids, right? Keep them occupied. If you want to use like a 100 watt movie projector, you're going to get about 2.5 hours with that. Victoria, good evening, good evening. JLo, hello. Guys, if you're over on the other channel, me checking over on the chat, I will check for sure off and on as I can. Now, with it, of course, guys, like I said, but if you guys want to charge your drones, camping gear, or CPAP machines, you should be able to run your CPAP machine off of this. Your little mini ice machines or ice refrigerators that you take camping will be able to run off of this. Again, 240 watt hours of power, 200 watts of pure sine wave power. So that 200 watts is going to be like your most high output ratings of the electronic devices. 200 is going to be there. It should do a peak max, but you only have 240 watt hours of run power, so it's not going to give you a lot of runtime, but enough runtime that'll get you through in a quick emergency. This is less than 7 pounds. As you guys see, I'm just sitting here holding it with no problem. It does have, of course, silicone pads on the bottom. And the silicone pads are actually kind of cool because if you guys have ever taken any camping and set stuff on the hood of your car, sometimes you'll scratch up the hood of your car. These silicone pads will actually stop that from happening, and I kind of like that. So, great little portable piece, $240. Great price point tonight. So, if you need something like that, that is the $240, of course, for you. Now, we also have the next step up, and that's going to be the $300. Now, the $300 still is a great option. It's going to be an entry-level system. It's going to do well for people that just want a quick emergency or other style of pieces. Now, this one has, of course, 293 watt hours of power. It's got 2 AC outlets at 300 watts of pure sine wave power for that, and you've got 3 plugs in the middle. You have 2 USB-A ports, 3 volt 2.4 amp. With that one, or actually 5 volt 2.4 amp. Why did I say 3? It's been a long day already with numbers. Then you have that USB-C port, 60 watts in and out charging capability through the USB-C port. That means you should be able to plug in your phones and other devices, even your MacBooks, through that USB-C port to charge it. You have that DC plug output, and you still have, of course, that nice display, and, of course, the cigarette lighter, 12 volt 10 amp plug with that. Now, on the sides, cooling technology, again, with that, of course, and silicone pads on the bottom. Now, the one thing I didn't show you guys is what comes with most of these stations. Most of these stations will have a kit like this. The kit is going to range quite different depending on the station you get. So they're all going to come with a wall plug, so if you guys need a charging plug, they're going to come with that. Some may come with a DC adapter for your solar panels like this. Others might not. Some will come, of course, with a wall plug of sorts. This is going to be like for your larger ones, like it's going to be a wall plug style. Some of the smaller ones may take old laptop style, right? Then you'll either get a cigarette lighter adapter like this, or you'll get a different style of cabling and cords. You'll also get, of course, that cool little zip-up packet with that and the instruction manual. So if you guys need something like that, they're going to come in that. And that's actually kind of cool with this. Now, of course, the 300, like I was talking about, is a great option for you. This is going to still allow you to run that multiple pieces. 220 volt, 220 volt. Shoo, I'm not really sure. I think most of them are only 120 volt accessible that we have here. So 220 volt, that's going to be a big, like different style. I can actually have Lois check on that for you. She might be able to drop a comment in chat for you down there. So yeah, the 220 volt, that's going to be a big power station, big plug style. Now with this, of course, like I said, multiple charging points with the 300. You're going to be able to charge it in multiple ways. First and foremost, wall plug, 3.5 hours. Car cigarette lighter, 3.5 hours-ish. Or the 100 watt solar panel, about 4.5 hours. This one will allow you to double charge, though. You can use the wall outlet and the cigarette light, or the USB-C port, and have it fully charged in under 2 hours. Now, with this one, you're going to be able to run your Nintendo Switch for over 45 to 46 hours with this one. Still going to allow you to do, like, let's say, your phones, laptops, camera gear, drones, or even CPAP machines or little oxygen machines. Maybe you guys need that little camping ice chest plugged in to keep your food cold. This will do that. And since it's got multiple plugs, you can actually plug in more than one thing. Maybe you guys need to recharge your lights, like your tent lights and stuff. This will do that. Very portable, very accessible. This is actually, I think it's like $279, but there's a $50 clippable coupon with this one, so it's going to bring it down a little bit for you. So, great little entry-level system right there. Now, you guys were asking about, let's say, the larger one. That's going to be like the 500, right? So we do have a Jackery Explorer 500. The 500 is gonna be able to probably charge your electric bike to a point. Definitely run like a little small heater. Uh, just depending on the wattage of that heater. Some of them heaters run over 1,000 watts of power, so you got to do that math with that. Now that's actually this one right in the middle. We can switch views for you and bring you guys down into the table. So the 500 is actually right here in the middle. I'll bring it to the foreground for you. Right here's the 500. This has actually got 3 USB-A ports, 5 volt, 2.4 amps. It's got one AC outlet at it's 110 volts at 500 watts of pure sine wave power with this one. Now, it still has, of course, that beautiful display that's going to light up, tell you to charge. It's going to show you guys the input, output. It's got, of course, the input charging DC plug. And then it's got 2 separate styles of DC output plugs. Now, with this one, it still has that fixed handle, but it still has the Class 9 drop protection. This one's $4.99, but there's a $150 clippable coupon with that. Now, this one has a built-in flashlight on the side for you, so if you guys need that flashlight, it's already there. You can turn it on and off. If you hold it down, it's going to go into SOS pattern, so you guys can actually do like a little SOS if you guys need to or have to warn somebody about it. And that's kind of cool with that. Now, portable, accessible, easy to carry. It's about 13 pounds, so you can still carry it around without no issues. Flint. That's pretty good, Flint. Charge rates on the 500 is going to be about 5.5 hours on a wall plug, 5.5 hours in your car on a cigarette lighter, or about 7.5 hours on a Solar Saga 100 panel with that. It's a great one. Still very portable, accessible. Now, this one's going to allow you to run, let's say, your little mini coolers for about 9 hours. Your 45 watt to 60 watt flat screen TVs like the 65-inch behind us, about 7 hours of runtime. I'm going to say your 30 watt laptops, about 30 hours with that, because it does have, of course, that power accessible with this. Now, you could run other stuff with the 500 most definitely without an issue, ranging from your air compressors for about 8 hours, your blenders, your electric heating blankets. You should be able to run an electric heating blanket approximately 4 hours or so with that, because it is, a little lower wattage style device. Now, you do have, of course, the multi-port connections. You have 3 USB ports and all those others that you need. 7 ports total, 500 watts of power. Now, this is where it's cool. It is 500 watts of pure sine wave power, but you can peak it at 1,000 if you need to draw out a little extra power. If you are running a 1,000-watt device, it will drain that battery quicker. That's just the way it's going to go. Now, you can run these in cooler temperatures, approximately 14 degrees or lower with that, so you can do that, no problem. About 104 degrees or so if you're in hotter temperatures. If you guys are in like the really blistering hot of the sun, just put it under some shade so it gets a little bit of a chill off of it. But great little piece. The 500 is an amazing product. And like I said, guys, there's a clippable $150 clippable coupon for the 500 with that. Now, for those of you that want to run those electric heaters, this is what we're going to get. We're going to go into the 1000. Now, the 1000 is normally like $1,100. It's $9.99 tonight, but there's a $350 clippable coupon. Now, with the 1000, of course, we'll actually jump up to that power station up at the top. Now, this, of course, is 1,002 watt hours of power. Now, with this one, though, you do have the 3 AC outlets at 1,000 watts of pure sine wave power, but can peak up over that if you really need. So you do have the 3 AC outlets. Now, this one's got dual USB-Cs and dual USB-A ports and a 12-volt 10-amp cigarette lighter plug over here. It's also still got that display that you come to expect from the Jackery power stations with that. Now, what I'm going to say is, though, it's got the pigtail, almost style alligator clip clips for the solar panel. Now, it does come with that cabling for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's not a cable you're going to need to go out and get. It also comes with the DC plug for the wall plug as well. Now, just like the 500, this one does have a built-in flashlight on the side right there for you that does do SOS pattern, but also has larger cooling inlets and, of course, fan technology to keep it cool. Now, with this, you do have voltage monitoring systems. You have intelligent BMSs, which is your battery management for the LiFePO4 cells, and still has the silicone pads. But this one does weigh a little bit more. Now, what do I mean by it weighs a little bit more? Well, yeah, you jump from like 13 pounds up to, I think this one's like, I'm going to say 20, 22, 23 pounds with this one. You do have multiple ports with this. So you do have the 8 ports of usability, but you actually have a bunch of different runtimes. If you want to run that 3-watt flashlight that's on the side, over 65 hours of runtime off this one. Your mini cooler about 13 hours, your TV about 9 hours, your electric heating blanket about 11 hours. Your coffee makers, of course, you can run off of this, your electric grills and everything else in between. You can do that. Charge rate's going to be about 5 hours in a wall plug, 11 and a half hours in your car. So that's like you're going from Washington State down to the Redwoods. Plug it in your car. It should be charged, about midway through your trip down there with no problem, depending on if you're taking the I-5 corridor or if you're going down the coastline. If you're going down the coastline, dude, it's going to be charged no problem. If you have multiple solar panels, about 6 hours charge time with the solar panel on the 1000. Now, Class 9 drop protection still in this with that. It is actually eco-friendly and very quiet, about 7 decibels. Most of that is going to be just the switching of the switch. That's all you're going to hear is the switch on when you press that button, and that's your audible click at 7 dBs. And that's kind of cool. Still lightweight. I mean, 22 pounds is still accessible for people to carry around without an issue. And it's going to allow you to run more stuff. Now, I just point out some random stuff, but I can actually tell you I've actually used other stuff off of this. I used it to charge, what did I use it to charge? I used it to charge some actual lithium batteries for my car, but I did have to use a trickle charger for that. I used it to charge up my hand drills and other devices as well. I plugged in, I did try to plug in an electric blender. No, so the 1000 does not come with the solar panels. The solar panels are separate, are at a separate cost. Now, they do offer a package of the 1000 plus some solar panels, but it's like, I think it's a $1,600 price tag, but there's a $550 clippable coupon. So there is, let me see here. This would be the one you're talking about with the solar panels right there. And that would actually it has a $550 clippable coupon on that one. So that one comes with 2 of the Solar Saga 200 panels, I believe. Or actually 2 of the 100 watt solar panels. So that kit does come with solar panels for the 1000. So hopefully that answered Molly. So the one in the carousel is a little different. That link I posted is the one with the solar panels. I can actually show you the solar panels if you would like to take a quick look at that. This is going to be the 100 watt solar panel. It's actually quite portable. It is a monocrystalline solar cell. It does fold out very easily. Has magnets that keeps it closed. It does have, of course, the Velcro style kickstands built in. And it does have the pocket that has the 9-foot cable to plug into the power station. So it's very, very accessible with that and can work in all ranges of wet weather. Don't worry about it. It's not going to hurt this device. So, yeah, no problem. Yeah, we're definitely here to answer questions if you need. Of course, now I just knocked all my cameras around by hitting my desk. Now, of course, we're going to go up into the bigger power stations. We're going to show you guys the Jackery Explorer 1500. Now, we're showing you guys the 1500 Pro. The 1500 Pro is a big power station. It's not super large, but it is definitely a bigger power station. So if I jump over here and I actually click, wrong hammer, down there. So the 1500 is actually going to be this one over in the corner. We will actually adjust the camera over to you guys so you guys can see that. And we'll actually zoom in for you with this. Now, the 1500 is that beautiful power station right there. Now, this is going to pack about 1512 watt hours of power. It's going to have 3 AC outlets. Now, those AC outlets, of course, are going to do about approximately, if I remember correctly, 1800 watts of pure sine wave power with this one. Now with this set, it's a little different build range. It's actually got a handle that does, of course, fold up right here. So if you guys can see the handle, it does fold up. This one still has a flashlight, but it actually has a cover for you. So that is going to be your flashlight in multi-mode with SOS pattern for you. Now with this, of course, it's got a different actual LCD screen that's a more higher contrast rate, so you guys can actually see that better. Now with this, it still has, of course, that DC plug over here, but this one does a little bit more. It's actually got two USB-C ports at 100 watt max charging capability and two USB-A ports at 18 watts max charging capability with this. Now with this one, it's actually got a dual voltage monitoring system to keep track of the voltage inside. It's actually got 8 temperature sensors and of course the intelligent BMSs, which is your battery management system. Each battery is individually wrapped LifePost cells, so you're good there with that. It does have cooling technology with fans built in. Now, this is normally $16.99, but there is a $700 clippable coupon for this power station. So, you're going to get a great deal with this one, of course, on that. If you want to fully charge this on a wall plug, 2 hours, you're good to go. If you're doing a cross-country trip from, let's say, California, maybe over to Mount Rushmore or, something else, or even the Grand Canyon, 16 hours in the car outlet, plug it in, let it charge. Even your toy haulers, your motorhomes, or other devices, you can plug it in. Now, if you have a motorhome, you may have an actual wall plug for that, so you may not have to use the cigarette lighter plug on hand to charge that, so you should be good to go. Now, runtime on this one, because it is 1,512 watt hours of power, it's going to allow you to run a lot more stuff, including your larger microwave ovens. So you can run a microwave oven off of this for a little over an hour. If you want to run that big flat screen TV, you're going to get over 17 hours of runtime with that. With the 8 ports, it's very versatile. Now, let's say you're trying to charge your iPhone 13s or 14s, that's about 65 watts of power. 63 charges off of this. That 5 watt light bulb that's on that side, 115 hours of runtime. If you guys really want to, you guys can do, let's say, movie projectors. You could definitely use it for Bluetooth speakers, your mini coolers, or other devices. Since this is 1,512 watt hours of power, you technically can plug in your 520 watt double door fridge and run it for a couple hours off of this. So you can do that. Now, this will actually allow you to run some electric hand tools, maybe some garage tools, depending on what they are. Leaf blowers usually range around 400, 700 watts. You're going to get about two and a quarter hours of runtime with that. What else you could run? Let's say a table saw. You get a couple hours in a table saw, depending on the wattage of that table saw. Now, some of them larger table saws take up more power. Maybe your little chop saw. You can do that. Your hand drills, 3 hours on your hand drill. Hand drill runs about the same as a leaf blower, so you're good there. So great range with this one. 37 pounds though. This one does weigh 37 pounds, so it has a little bit of weight for you. Now with the USB-C ports, 100 watts max, you can change the range though with this one. You can go from 5 volt 3 amp all the way up to 20 volt 5 amp through that USB-C port. Now the USB-A 18 watt ports is a quick charge 3.0, so you're going to get a range from 5 to 6 volts at 3 amps all the way up to 12 volt 1.5 amps of range power with the charging capability. Still LifePost cells, of course, like we were saying. But a beautiful piece. This one's actually a really amazing one. I love the jump up into these because the bigger ones do quite a bit. I've ran inflatable decorations from outside for Christmas off of them. I even plugged in my computer into this and ran it off of that. You can do that. Now, I'm going to say something though. If you're running a gaming computer, because it is 1,512 watt hours of power, most of your gaming computers are over 800 watts of power, so you're not going to get a long runtime off of that. Just warning you now. But it could be plugged in if you needed, so you could do that. Any questions about the 1500? If not, we can move on to a little bit larger one that does come with, of course, solar panels. That's going to be the 2000 Pro. Now, the 2000 Pro is a beautiful, beautiful power station. Now, that's actually on the opposite side of the table. Now, I actually have it kind of hidden here. There's a power station in front of it. We'll actually move that little thing. This is the 2000 Pro. Now, the 2000 Pro is going to be a kit package tonight. Normally, this kit is like $3,600. Tonight, it's $2,099 or $2,999, but there is a $1,000 clippable coupon for this kit. This kit comes with 2 of the Solar Saga 200 watt panels, and that's a large, large panel. Now, with this, of course, 2,160 watt hours of power. Does have, of course, that handle that, right there with silicone pads to carry it around. It does come with 3 AC outlets. These AC outlets are actually going to do 120 volts at 2,200 watts of pure sine wave power through this on hand. Now, it does have that 12 volt 10 amp cigarette lighter. It does have, of course, that beautiful display and individually switched switches, so each plug can be turned on and off for you. Now, it has, of course, that light that you guys just like on the other one. So you do have the multi-mode flashlight on this with the cork cover. Has the 2 USB-A ports at 18 watts max and the 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max. Now with this, still has that cooling technology, the BMSs, the temperature sensors, and everything else you come to expect from these. Class 9 drop protection still. Has over, has the protections that you expect from like a charge rate and stuff. So it's not going to over voltage and all of that because of that pure sine wave power. Still has the 8 ports, but this one's going to do a little bit different stuff for you. You can actually run 1100 watt window AC off of this. About 2 hours of runtime with that. Your 520 watt refrigerator, about 3.5 hours of runtime. That means your ice box or your freezer or your fridge is up and charged or up and running when you need as you need it. You could run your blender. If you guys are having a backyard barbecue, you could run your blender for about 5 hours out back making margaritas, milkshakes, or whatever you really needed that blender for. I do apologize. Need a sip of water. Now, your charge rate on this one's going to be 2 hours wall plug, 24 hours on a cigarette lighter if you maybe in your toy hauler or motorhome. Or if you have 6 of the Solar Saga panels, 2.5 hours. Now, this kit comes with 2 of these solar panels. So, of course, you're going to add time onto that, approximately about 5 hours-ish to fully charge this or so. Now, the cool part is when it is charging, you can still use those plugs. So, yes, you can use the plugs while it's charging so you don't have to worry. This one's going to be great for, home backups, your shops, or even emergencies, RV trips, your toy haulers, your camping, or anything in between. Just know this one does weigh a little bit, so it's going to have some weight when you're carrying it around. Now, my buddy actually asked me the other day if he could use it in the lanes while he's charging his dragster. Now, that's a good question, and I actually could see that you could do it, depending on the size of the power station. Now, of course, he's talking about plugging in his charger into this power station and then connecting it up to his battery while he's stuck waiting in the lane. Because when you're stuck in the lane, you need to keep that battery charged for your runs. So you could do that, and it's actually a really cool idea. I was actually talking to him about maybe going with him or seeing if he can use it at a race and get some videotape of it. It'd be really, really cool. So great little option right there. The 2000 Pro is beautiful. And of course, guys, comes with 2 solar panels and a $1,000 clippable coupon. So clip that coupon, save yourself some money. Now, if you guys want to get into the range of their largest standalone system, that's going to be the 3000 Pro. Now, of course, I clicked the wrong thing, but let's go over here to the 3000 Pro range. 3000 Pro, of course, has actually got an RGB light plugged in. Whoa, hey, that camera just wigged out. That right there. That is the 3000 Pro. Now, the 3000 Pro kit we're showing you guys tonight actually comes with solar panels. Now, the 3000 Pro is going to do more than what you would expect. This is going to power your house without an issue. Now, this kit is $4,000, but there is a $700 clippable coupon for this one. Now, 3,024 watt hours of power with this, but it has 5 AC outlets. Now, 4 of these are standard AC outlets, but they do 3,000 watts of pure sine wave power, of course, at 120 volts. You then have that fifth one that's going to do a larger plug style like your TIG or MIG welders or your older washers and dryers or even stoves with that because it's at the opposite side. Now this plug is actually going to be approximately about the same as some of your EV power plugs for some of your cars as well. Now individually switched, of course this one has the cigarette lighter that's got a plastic cover with this one. Now on this you still have of course the two USB-A ports, 18 watts max, 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max as well. Now, the display, of course. If you guys want, you can see the display right here, and it's actually using about 23 watts of power. It says I got about 21 hours of runtime left at 28% battery charge off of this light, running off of this. And that's the only thing that's running off of this. Now with this one, I know you guys can't see it, but there is a nice bright orange handle for lifting this up and down. This is a little different because this power station does weigh approximately 64 pounds. Queen, hello, how are you doing? Now 64 pounds isn't the lightest, but it also isn't the world's heaviest, but it does have some weight, so do know. Charging this device, you have multiple ways to charge it, right? So you can actually do wall plugs, you can do the, of course, solar panels and everything else. And we do have, of course, if I pop over here, let's show you guys this. This is how they design this, so it is like a suitcase style design. You're going to have 2 nice large wheels and, of course, a telescopic aluminum handle on the 3000 Pro. Now that handle does, of course, pull in and out of the casing so you can tip it and roll it. Now, I've actually rolled this through grass. I've rolled it across carpet. I've rolled it across some dirt. And it will roll without an issue to a point. If you're trying to roll it through sand, I'm going to tell you guys the sand might sink a little because of the weight. Now, of course, we can actually show you guys some more images. Let's say like your charge rates right here. 2.5 hours on a wall plug. 34 hours on a cigarette lighter plug. If you have 6 of the panels, it comes with 2 of these panels, but if you had 6 of them, 3.5 hours fully charged for you. Now, of course, if you guys want to run your window AC, like your 1150 watt window AC, about 3 hours of runtime for that. If you want to run your refrigerator, depending on the size of your refrigerator, you're going to range a different amount with that. Let's say your 15 watt refrigerator, about 72 hours. Your 520 watt refrigerator, about 4.5 hours, all right? That light bulb, of course, if you guys want to run that 5 watt light bulb, 220 hours, no problem, they got you. Now this is where it's cool. This power station actually works with the app. Now the app is actually a simplified app that's going to work. Binda, I appreciate that, buddy. How you doing, buddy? The app is amazingly well simplified and can work for anybody. Anybody should be able to figure this app out with no problem. You download the app from the iOS or Android store or your Google store, Google Play Store. You will then go up and press this plus symbol after logging in. This plus symbol, of course, is going to come over to this screen, and it's going to say, did the icon flash? And it usually probably does. Once it does that, it's going to start scanning and looking for devices. Now, I don't have any other devices to scan tonight, so we're just going to pop over and grab, of course, the 3000 Pro. 3000 Pro is going to show you guys the battery percentage left in this. It's also going to tell you the temperature that your batteries are at running speed. So it's going to tell you guys the wattage that we're using. You guys will see it move up and down from 23 watts to 0, and that's because it's got multi-plugs with that. If I want to, all I got to do is hit that switch. It's going to turn that light off on the table. That means I can turn off this light anywhere I'm at. It's going to run through the app, so if I forget to turn something off, I hit it in the app and I'm good to go. Maybe I want to turn on that little plug so my heater comes on before I get home, or the AC kicks on, or light or something else. That's all you got to do. Just hit it. You're good to go. Now inside the app, you got some other cool stuff like your energy saving modes, your battery settings, charging settings. You can also do auto time off. So if you guys only want it to run like an hour, you can set it to shut off at a certain time. It does that. You can even update the firmware with that, and I do recommend updating your firmware as you go. Now, that's a really cool simplified app for you with that. One more sip of water, please. It's super hot in my apartment tonight. Now, guys, the 3000 Pro is a beautiful power station. $4,000, but there's a $700 coupon. Comes with 2 of the Solar Saga 200 panels. Now, those 200 panels are a nice large panel that's going to do really, really well. Of course, it's going to give you guys the power you need when you need it. And that means you're going to be able to live off of the grid with this. And that's where this is more geared towards off the grid living, complete power outages, RVing, toy haulers, camping, longer trips, and everything in between. You can even run a power station, not a power station, but like let's say your TIG or MIG welders. You can run your table saws off of this. You could run plasma cutters to a point. Depending on the size of that plasma cutter, most plasma cutters are going to push a lot of power. So with that, now we're going to move over to the 300 plus. The 300 plus is actually a really cool power station. This is actually a portable little power station. Now that's actually this little one right here. Now it is a plus series, so the plus series can run off of that app, and that's kind of cool. Now this is 288 watt hours of power, 300 watts of pure sine wave power through that AC plug on that side. Now with this, you get 2 USB-C ports. Now the difference between the other small ones is this will do 100 watts of pass through with this. Now one of these is an in and out port, the other is only an out port. You then have a 15 watt USB-A port and of course the DC plug up above. Still has the flashlight over here if you guys turn it on, but you will have to, of course, let's turn on the power station. It may take a second for me to turn it on because my fingers don't have nails. So right there we're actually on, and now if I hold this down, the flashlight will come on. Of course, if I hit it again, SOS pattern, and of course shows you guys the icons flashing that we were just talking about to connect it up to the power station. Now with this one, they actually changed the way it plugs in. It's actually going to use the larger orange plugs to do this. Now with it, of course, the charge rate's going to change. About under an hour and a half on a wall plug. If you use just that USB-C port, under 3 hours off the USB-C port, so you can charge it that way. If you use a cigarette car lighter, about 4.25 hours. If you have one solar panel, about 7 hours. And we'll actually show you guys that in a minute. That's a little bit different for you, right? Now, this is where it's going to get kind of cool because you can actually do a lot of stuff like this. Your house fans, 4.5 hours of runtime on a house fan. So you can do that. Your laptops, your drones, your iPhones, your Nintendo Switches, your lamps, your CPAP machines, and everything. Hey, what's up, last name? How are you doing? So with that, nice portable little piece, class 9 drop protection. Under 5, I think it's like 5.1 pounds or something like that. Super light, super easy. Has the handle that does fold up. This is a cool one. Love the 300 plus. Now this is like $299, but there's a $60 clippable coupon, so it saves you a few bucks. Now what I recommend though is if you guys really want this station, get the full kit. Because you can actually get this power station and the solar panel that comes with it. And that's going to be the 40 watt solar panel. That 40 watt solar panel is actually cool because it is literally notebook sized. Now, with this, of course, same amount of runtime, but it comes with this panel. It's like $299 for this, but it does, of course, come with the solar panel. This is a solar panel. It has this nice little magnetic clip that goes over that. I do remember you from the last stream. Now with that, of course, the solar panel is still waterproof and water resistant, monocrystalline solar cells, but it does fold out 4 times for you to become a nice large panel. This panel is going to do well for you guys. Now, what I'm telling you is this will fit in your backpack with no problem. This is going to be great for camping, hiking, and other pieces with that. So this is kind of cool. Ellen, hello, how are you doing? Good evening. Really, really amazing little piece, portable, accessible, great with the power station. Of course, 40 watts means you can actually charge the solar panel in under 7 hours. That means if you're out camping, this is going to give you the power plus the charging capabilities with this. So if you guys need the 300 plus, is a beautiful little piece. What do we have next? I think we're going into the large one. Hey, Justin, what's up? Justin is here. Mr. Dragon Blogger. Now, we're going to move over to the 1000 plus. Now, the 1000 plus is actually what I call a modular system. Now, we'll get into why I call it a modular system, but first we're going to talk about just the 1000 plus by itself, and we're going to actually jump over here, and we're going to switch views. The 1000 plus is actually right there in the middle, so if you guys see, it's that middle station. Let's get into this. 1264 watt hours of power on a beautiful power station that does 2000 watts of pure sine wave connectability through the 3 AC outlets that you see there. Now you do have the 2 USB-A ports and of course 18 watts max charging capability and the 2 USB-C ports at 100 watts max charging capability. Those USB-C ports means you can plug in those power-hungry devices and get the charge or the run that you need off of those. What you guys don't see tonight is actually me running some camera gear or lighting gears off of some of these stations you guys don't see. And I'm actually turning the light around right now. This is actually running off of different power stations, running off the 700 plus tonight. So you guys don't see some of the behind the scenes stuff with that. Now the power station's really, really cool. You can actually have this up and running, of course, and charged in no time. 2 hours fully charged on a wall plug without an issue. If you guys, actually under 2 hours, I think it's like an hour and 3/4, which is amazing. If you want to plug it into a cigarette car lighter in your car, about 7 hours fully charged. Multiple solar panels, though, it's going to take about, I think, I'm going to say 400 watt solar panels, about 4.5 hours with that. So with that, that's actually kind of cool. Now, run time is going to change depending on the piece you're doing. 15 watt mini fridge, about 44 hours of runtime with that. Your electric coolers, your weed whackers, your coffee machines, and everything else with that can be done with this. Now, that kit is like $11.99, but there's a $100 clippable coupon just for that power station. Now, we do have that power station and, of course, solar panels, and that's what's next in the carousel, because you can get it with solar panels. That kit's normally $16.99. It's actually got a $200 clippable coupon. Comes with 2 of the 100 watt solar panels. That means you guys can have this running off of those solar panels without a problem. Now remember, I said it's a modular system. What I meant by modular system is actually the next piece in the carousel, and that is the power station, of course, with the battery. So it does come with the Jackery Explorer battery. Now, this is a cool piece. This kit is normally like $19.99, but there's like a $200 clippable coupon. That means you're going to get that 1000 plus the extended battery. Now that means you're going to have 2,528 watt hours power. If I back up the camera, let's see if I can get it to zoom back out. You guys are going to see the battery on the opposite side up top. Now that battery is actually really, really cool and works well. So you're going to have double the power with this battery. Now, the cool part is you can actually add 3 batteries to give you 5 kilowatts of hour power. It's a lot of power to run a lot of different stuff. It will, of course, take your charge time up a little, so it's going to take a little longer to charge it. But it will allow you to run things a lot longer, like your window ACs. You can run a window AC off of this without an issue. You can run like blowers, hand drills, saws, angle grinders. What else could we do? Like your movie projectors. You guys want to run a movie projector? Over 9+ hours on a movie projector. That means you can throw, of course, a movie on outside, do a movie night, and have everybody up and happy. Now, the cool part about that is if I flip this over, you're going to see how you're going to have to connect up this. Now, it might be a little hard for some of you, but right here, the little panel pops open, and it's got these 2 little plugs right there for you. Now, those plugs will actually take a cable, and if I grab the cable, you guys can see this cable right here. This is the cable. This is your jumper cable for it. It's a large power cable, but they do come with the cables if you get the battery. Now, it's a great, great kit. Nope, definitely not. Now, some cool parts is, guys, the kit's amazingly well done. But they didn't just think about it. They said, hey, why not throw an option in there so you can actually have the power station, the battery, and a couple solar panels. And that is normally $2,400, but there's a $300 clippable coupon, so you're going to save yourself a few bucks and be able to be up and running and off the grid with that. And I kind of like that option. The 1000 Plus, of course, works with the app, so you can actually turn on those switches and off those switches by the phone. It's a great, great piece. I believe in those power stations. I've been having fun with them. I've been using them quite a bit, and they are very, very accessible. So if you guys want, you get the power station by itself, you get the power station, a couple solar panels, or you can get the power station, the battery, and some solar panels. I apologize, everybody. Heat is taking the coffin in me. Now, of course, bunch of great options for you. If you're looking for something like that, we have you covered. Now, with that, we're going to move into their largest modular system. This is going to be the 2000 Plus. Now, the 2000 Plus is actually still on that table. It's actually right down next to there, right there, next to that light. It looks just like the 3000 right there. Now, this is where it gets cool. The 2000 Plus is 2042 watt hours of power, but it has those 5 AC outlets. Now, those 5 AC outlets are going to do 3000 watts of pure sine wave power, 6000 watts max. So it can go up to 6000. Now, with this, you're going to be able to run everything you could ever want, including your garage equipment, your mandrel benders, your table saws, your angle grinders, even your kerf style cutters and other pieces with this. And that's where it's getting cool. Now, charging this, though, it's going to take a little bit to charge it. 2 hours wall outlet, 25 hours in a car outlet if you're plugging it into a cigarette lighter with that. If you want to charge off solar panels, of course, 6 of those 200 watt panels, 2 hours fully charged. Try not to sneeze, everybody. Now, you can run the 1150 watt window AC. You can run your lawnmower. You can run a welding machine off of this. It can all be done with that. If you guys ever needed a CPAP machine or a breathing machine, 150 hours of runtime off of this device by itself. Your 520 watt refrigerator, about 3 hours of runtime. That means you can keep your food in your fridge cool until hopefully the power comes back on. Your 1100 watt microwaves. Now, that's going to actually only allow you to run about an hour and a half off of that, right? Your 200 watt all-in-one desktop PCs or your larger laptops, about 12 hours. Let's get into RVing and tripping. Let's say your 100 watt projectors, 14 hours of runtime, guys. 14 hours movie night, have fun, and all of that. Your 60 watt little portable freezers. That's going to be like your little ice chest that you keep your meat in while you're camping. 26 hours of runtime. Your little, your dorm refrigerators, that's going to get you about 14 hours of runtime with that. If you want to run your inverter heaters, your 70 watt inverter heaters, about 19 hours of runtime with this one. So you can do that, of course. We're going to talk about this. Your welding machine, though, you're going to get about a little over a half hour of runtime on your 6,000 watt welder machines. Those welders take a lot of power. But it's a beautiful piece. Now, that does weigh 64 pounds. It is like $2,200, but there's a $200 clippable coupon for the station itself. Now, we also have in the carousel the station and 2 of the Solar Saga 200 panels. Normally $3,300, but it's got a $300 clippable coupon, so you can get that station and 2 solar panels, and you're good to go with that. Now, with it, though, we're going to go to the next one in the carousel, and we're going to talk about the battery. So this does accept a battery. And that battery is right above it, right there. That is another battery. This is called the 2000 Plus and the Pack Plus E2000. So this is a 4000 kit. That's going to give you 4,085 watt hours of power. It means you're going to be able to double your run times on everything, your fridges, your window ACs, your lights, your CPAP machines, and everything. And instead of 150 hours of runtime, you're going to get 300 hours of runtime on your CPAP machine, your light bulbs, and everything else in between. Now, remember though that you have a battery plugged in, so your charge time, of course, is going to take a little bit longer with that. Now, the cool part is this station does allow up to 5 batteries connected up to this one power station. So you guys can get 12 kilowatts of hour power. You should be able to run your house off of that with no problem for a while without an issue. Now, technically, you can get a second power station and add 10 batteries total and have 24 kilowatts of hour power. That's a lot of power. That's a beautiful amount of power to do what you need as you need it. Now, it does have, of course, a charge shield built in, about 62 forms of protection. Of course, you got the temperature sensors, individually light-pro cells that you would expect. Now, the fans on this one are a little bit louder than some of the others. It does run about 30 decibels of sound, but still, that's very, very quiet. You're really not going to notice that one. Now with it, of course, guys, we do have the kit in the carousel. That one, though, is about $37.99. There's a $300 clippable coupon for that and the battery. But if you want to get the 4,000 kit with the battery, the station, and, of course, 2 of those solar panels, it's about $5,000 kit. There's a $500 clippable coupon. So you're going to get that runtime like you would expect when you expect it as you need it. It's a great, great piece. If you guys want to have that power on hand to go and not have to pay your electric company, this is going to be the one. Now, the one thing I did not talk about, though, is I'm going to tell you, you can connect up more than 4 solar panels. You can connect up more than 6 solar panels. So the station alone will allow you to run 6 of the panels, but if you have a battery, you can add multiple panels to the batteries, and so on and so on. So there are, of course, plugs on the back of those big batteries that will accept solar panel plugs. So you can actually extend that out there. That's a great option. So bunch of great options, bunch of great pieces right there. Now, we're going to move over to the solar panels tonight. We're going to start this off with the 100 panel. I did show you guys the 100 panel a little bit ago, but I will show you guys more full in depth with this. Now, this is the Jackery Explorer Solar Saga 100. This is a 100-watt panel, 18 volts charging capability, and it does have this kickstand right here that does Velcro on and fold out. You should be able to set this solar panel up in under 30 seconds and be running this. Now, it's got earth magnets in it that actually keeps it closed. If you guys can kind of see right here, this little round ring, that's an inlet that's going to connect to the opposite side ring that's going to magnetically stick closed. Now, they do have some cautions here, like don't bend, don't squeeze, don't step on, you know, all that other stuff. On the back, it has this zipper pocket. Now, this pocket does unzip for you guys, and it's going to give you access to that cable. Now, this is a 9.5-foot cable. You can get an extender cable. It does have, of course, an adapter on there, or it has the standard plug. That means it's going to be able to connect in to most of the power stations out there with that. Now, the 100-watt solar panel has got a cool little piece that you guys haven't seen, and that's this little orange plug right there. That orange plug has actually got a USB-C port and a USB-A port, so you can use this solar panel to charge a device just off of this without having the power station. That's kind of cool that they do that. Now, this one will allow you to run or charge off of the 240 version, the 300, the 500, the 1000, the 1000 Plus, and of course the 1500, 1500 Pro, and I believe the 3000 Plus as well, and the 300 Plus. Now, monocrystalline solar cells, that's going to grab about 23.5% more efficiency and even lower light settings to get you guys that light as you need. The monocrystalline solar cells, you guys can see that light grabbing right off of that. It's going to do really, really well for a lot of people. And of course, I do always recommend guys use these eye ringlets to tie rope onto these or hooks so the wind does not blow it away. This is fully waterproof and water resistant, can be used in harsh and wet weather, but winds will pick it up like a sail And of course, you guys know how wind is. It's going to take it like a kite. So make sure you have it tied down and have all that. This is like $299, but there's a $30 clippable coupon for this one. So if you guys need the Solar 100 panel, the Saga 100. Beautiful, beautiful panel. Now, for those of you that were looking at the other stations with the larger solar panel, that's going to be the Solar Saga 200 panel. Now, we actually have a video of this one, so if I close this off and show you guys the video, this is the Solar Saga 200 watt panel, and you guys are going to see how it comes out and how it hooks up. It actually has a nice little case that has zippers on it and a clasp. It has their beautiful logo on front, and it's going to have this beautiful panel that comes out. This panel is a tri-fold design. Now, it does have 3 kickstands on this, though, so you do have the multiple kickstands to have it set up and up there and running. About 30 seconds to be kicked out and set up. Still has those magnets, keep it closed, and a clasp. Once you pop it out, you guys can have the kickstands out there. Now, inside the case actually has a zipper pocket. That zipper pocket's going to have, of course, that large cable. That's about a 9.5, almost 10-foot cable, 9.5 to 9 3/4 of a cable. If you guys need, they do sell an extension cable that's 16.5 feet for you. This solar panel is going to work on the 1000 Pro, the 1500 Pro, the 2000 Pro, and 3000 Pro, and the 2000 plus power stations. Now, 24% more efficiency, fully waterproof and water resistant, ETFE laminated case, and of course, handle onside the solar panel. Monocrystalline solar cells with that 24% efficiency is going to do well for a lot of you. I really like this. The 3 kickstands are easily to do. Still has those eye-ringlets, so you can actually tie it down and not have to worry about it. Normally $700. I believe there's 140 or 100. I think it's $140 clippable coupon on Amazon. So if you guys need that, clip that coupon and you're good to go. Right there, you guys see I'm getting about 150 watts of charge rate through that onto this 3000 Pro station. So it does do well. If you guys have more light out, the problem with this is it may look really bright, but of course I live in front of a big building. And that building was blocking some of that light from hitting directly on it. Even though it was glaring pretty good, it's just one of them things. So make sure you get the most efficiency and find the largest and brightest area in your yard or where you're at to get the most light with that. So that is the Solar Saga 200 panel. So if you guys need a bunch of great products, a bunch of great options for you at great prices. If you guys have any questions, please let us know now because we can answer a few for you if you have any. I don't see any questions tonight. So with that, I want to thank everybody for being here. Guys, we will be back, I believe, on March 11th with another stream. Of course, I will be hosting. I believe it's March 11th is the next one. So you guys are going to be back for that one, hopefully, and we'll have another beautiful stream for you. A bunch of more cool products and having a bunch more fun. For all the newcomers here, thank you guys. Don't forget to give a follow, hit that smash button. Because, hey, if you guys don't have notifications, you guys won't know when we're live. So I want to thank you guys all. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Monday night, and we'll see you guys on the next. Later, everybody.